Eric, what's so special about Delaware? Do I really need to set my company up there? And if I do, what's required?
What I've been telling our clients recently is don't necessarily do anything drastic right now just because the biggest companies in the world that have billions of dollars in cash reserves are moving to a bunch of other jurisdictions doesn't mean that early stage founders, especially first time founders who kind of need everything set up in the least controversial way, the way that's going to make the least waves, should be following suit. The point about Delaware and the reason that it became the common jurisdiction for entities to form is they decided we're going to pass corporation friendly statutes and then we're going to create a court that is going to be specifically tasked with vetting cases, understanding what these statutes mean. And a lot of companies decided to move to Delaware because it was more corporate friendly. And the courts over those however many, 100+ years have done a very good job of giving us an understanding of how to think about the laws in Delaware. And in a common law system, that's very important. It's not just what the statute says, but what the courts say, how to think about what the statute says. So we have a decent level of predictability, which is important. You also have an investor community that, at least at the early stages, is still heavily fixated on investing in companies that are C corporations formed in Delaware. And then the one final point for a lot of early stage founders is people being budget conscious. I, for example, am a New York barred attorney, but I'm generally an expert in Delaware law. I'm not licensed in Delaware, but I've been practicing with so many Delaware companies that I understand the ins and outs of formalities, when you need board consents, when you need stockholder consents, how to design the shares, how to authorize new shares, how to correct mistakes the companies might make. 99% of your corporate attorneys across the US also have similar expertise in Delaware. You can't say the same necessarily yet in Texas, Nevada, Wyoming. So we've had some clients that have done this recently, and we've said, okay, at the outset, there's going to be a little bit more friction. There's going to be a little bit more legal cost. And my advice to a lot of clients is spend as little on us as possible until you have the money, right? Until you start making money, until you start raising money. You don't want to pay your attorneys unless you have to on the important things.